NFL draft is wrapped up. The 2026 season has begun. We're here to break down the landing spots, the fantasy impact of it all. The fellas and I are back. We haven't been around since, the Super Bowl, our Super Bowl show back in February. So we're excited to get going. Some of us have dived in some drafts. Sometimes some of us are dabbling a little bit. We got our boy Joe passed out on the couch, but he joins us now.
I was like Mike 2 days ago.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Nothing wrong with a little nap.
Hey, Mike.
Fresh.
That's what I'm saying. What number is that?
You can have it if you can guess who it is.
Lindros.
No, it's I can't see what's the number?
Joey got it.
Lindros. My brother would want it. I get.
Anyway, we'll get into all that.
Nice.
We're gonna break that. We're gonna go. The most important picks. We'll see if we can get to every team. We got some time straight. It's a little bit late. We got work tomorrow, so let's get going. Fantasy Savvy on X. Follow us all. You see the handles below. Let's get into it. We're gonna have a good show tonight. Breakthrough show as we gear up for the 2026 season. Let's go. Okay, it's good to be back. It's good to talk about something other than the Mike Vrabel, Rossini situation. Everybody, their mother's talking about. Now their mother's talking about this J.P. Morgan thing, whatever the hell is going on with that. There's crazy stuff going on around. But anyway, NFL draft. I don't know how much you guys got to really, sit. Did you sit down and watch the whole thing? I definitely always watch the first night. Second day, I kind of catch what I can, then I try to stay up as much as possible. I thought the Jets had a pretty good draft. Pretty excited about that, but obviously you can't get too excited when it comes to the Jets. But how's everybody feeling? Are we fully ready for the 2026 season, or are we just kind of slowly getting back into it? I think we're all kind of just warming up a little bit here. So thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Again, follow the show. And we appreciate it. Like, subscribe, share. So let's get first into it. I know Joey talked off air. He wanted to talk about something before we get into the NFL draft. He wanted to talk about a particular situation with Kyle Murray and going to the Minnesota Vikings. So I guess we'll start with that. And Joey, since it was your topic, I'll let you start off with it.
Yeah, I'm just curious what your all's take is. I mean, Kevin O'Connell, he is usually pretty good with quarterback play, so I don't know if he'll help Kyle or anything. All he has to do is throw it up to Jefferson. So that really more or less goes into Jefferson. What do y'all think about him? Which I know he's talented, he's going to do good, but can Murray get him the ball, or does he also take out T.J. Hawkinson? I mean, he didn't throw it to McBride, so we'll have to see what all happens in Minnesota.
The first question is, do you guys all think that Murray's definitely going to win the job? I know McCarthy, they're saying it's a battle. I think that's what I've heard. It's still going to be a battle in camp. Murray's had his own troubles. McCarthy, he's a couple of good games, but he still looks really raw. I liked him a lot. I was kind of banking on him in the later rounds. I didn't think there was any way he could fail in the O'Connell system. After we saw like Nick Mullins do, and Sam Darnold rejuvenate his career. I just felt like with Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson, I just feel like it was a no-brainer. But obviously McCarthy's got some things to learn. So Josh, what do you think, man? Do you think Murray is going to win this job, and how do you see him performing in Minnesota?
I think Murray starts the season I think that McCarthy has maturity issues, and in the O'Connell system, I mean, it's like if you're a millionaire and you hire a good financial advisor, but you don't buy into it and take his advice and everything, you're going to squander that money away and blow it. And that's kind of how I feel about JJ McCarthy. Like, he's got good coaches, you got good receivers, and he blew it. And there was a couple different times where, I mean, he even kind of bragged about it at a press conference that he went out and did something that the coach told him not to do. Well, dude, you're the quarterback. Like, you kind of set the bar for maturity on the team. And even though he's a rookie, he's got a long ways to go, I just feel like. So I think Justin Jefferson's obviously a huge upgrade from Marvin Harrison. And I don't know. I think they'll scheme something up, but he should be all right. I don't know. I mean, I'd say Justin Jefferson. I think when we talked back like beginning of the year on our way to early ADPs, a lot of us had JJ at the middle of the second round, and he'll probably work his way into the late first round by the time the season gets here. It's my thing.
Yeah, Mike, what do you think? Are you going to be going after Kyler Murray this year in later rounds?
Probably not, but I agree with Josh and Joe. I think it's a good upgrade for Jefferson, and even more so probably Hawkinson, who's probably people are going to be sleeping on him. Hawkinson's issues were health, but he just had a shit quarterback last year. He stayed healthy basically the whole season. It was just, I think there's no way. Murray would really have to S the bed if he was to lose that job. I think they're saying it. It's just, they don't want to, they don't want to throw McCarthy under the bus. But I think it's Murray's job, unless he's really pathetic, like McCarthy was last year. If that's the case, then maybe they'll be forced to make a switch.
Yeah, I think Josh made some good points. Like, that's like a golden opportunity. And, if I didn't hear about him, saying he kind of was doing his own thing or whatever. But, like I said, I didn't think he was going to fail. And he did. So that's definitely a bad sign when you have all that, golden opportunity around you. Joe, what do you think, man? Are you interested in Kyler? By the way, he's QB 21 right now, going behind Tyler Shuck, Jordan Love, Sam Darnold, Jared Goff, right in front of Malik Willis, C.J. Stroud, Fernando Mendoza.
For fantasy football, I think he's a bit of a value going that deep. We know he can make things happen with his legs, so right away we know he's got a ceiling. Is going to have the best pass catches he's ever had. If you're just looking and using common sense, I mean, it looks like he's in position to have the best season he's ever had as a quarterback. He's also in a much more competitive division. I think Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, Detroit Lions, the black and blue division could be a lot of fireworks, fantasy friendly game. So to say I'm targeting Kyler Murray, I don't know if I'm targeting him, but I do think he's a value for fantasy football. As far as Justin Jefferson goes, his current ADP right now, he's hovering between pick 12 and pick 15 in the handful of high stakes NFFC drafts there have been. I think he's probably priced just about right there. Guys like James Cook, premium running backs have moved ahead. They're a bit safer. We know that there's only a small group of elite tier running backs, so I think I might be more safe going that way. But it's hard to say because Justin Jefferson is so good on his own. But we do know that with JJ McCarthy, his ceiling is definitely capped. So it'd be interesting to see what Kyler Murray does. I do think it's an upgrade. I agree with the boys' opinions earlier, saying he is an upgrade. So yeah, I think he's a bit of a value of fantasy football, a quarterback, Kyler Murray. But Justin Jefferson, I mean, I don't know. I've been out on Justin Jefferson for 3 seasons now. Not gonna lie.
This might be the cheapest we ever get to draft him.
This is true. This is
definitely
true,
the cheapest. Definitely the cheapest. Second round, yeah.
Yeah.
He's never won in the second round.
But
Yeah.
Other than his rookie year. Well, past the second round, wherever he was going.
Just one of those things you look at, and in a draft I saw the other night, there's a guy got CeeDee Lamb in the first round and Justin Jefferson in the second round. A little different pairings than what you're used to seeing, but 2 guys that have been in the top 5 in recent years. So
I like it like that. I like it in a build like that. I'm a little more comfortable having him as a wide receiver too. Like you just brought up that example there, Josh.
Jefferson last year played every game, 1,048, 2 touchdowns, 84 catches on 141 targets. The year prior, 154 targets, so not that many more. 103 catches, 1,500 yards, 10 touchdowns. What a difference. So can Kyler Murray, elevate him back to those numbers? I have my suspicions about Kyler Murray. I think he's regressed since he's come into the league. I've kind of been off of him for years. He's kind of been a fantasy trap for many people. Can this be a little bit of a trap again? It's possible, but again, it's O'Connell. You got Jefferson, you got Addison, you got Hockenson. So yeah, I mean, second round for Justin Jefferson. I mean, that's hard to kind of pass up, being the talent level that he is. Anybody have a projection on his numbers? I mean, 2022, 1,800 yards, 8 touchdowns. His second year, 2021, 1,600 yards, 10 touchdowns. His rookie year, 1,400, 7 touchdowns. 2023, he was hurt. He only played 10 games, so he only had 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. And I mentioned last year was a disaster. Every game, but only 1,000 yards and 2 touchdowns. Any type of projection here from anybody on what you expect?
I mean, he did well. I mean, the year before, 24 wasn't a bad season. But the key for him is, if you look at his stat, the big stat is he got 12.5 a reception. That's a 3 yards off his average.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
I think he gets. I mean, and that's really shows you how pathetic the quarterback situation was there. I think Murray. I mean, I think he'll get back to that. I mean, the 24 was. I mean, I think he can get back to the 24 stats at least. Hit double-digit touchdowns.
Does Carson Wentz somehow stay around and win that job with one leg again, or what do you think? Remember that freaking McConnell had him out there with like one.
He might be good for fantasy. I mean, if they want to, I guess I can't look. Look at Wentz with a straight face.
I think that's just a testament how bad McCarthy was.
Without thinking, yeah. I mean, they want to win football games now, but maybe it'll help Jefferson. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the Vikings win total is. I don't know. I just can't get overly excited about Kyler Murray. I like Jefferson, but I don't know. Maybe he's in the best situation, with the coaching and the receivers he's got. So maybe there's a little bit of a rebound year for Kyler Murray. We'll have to see. I don't know.
They're still the worst team in their division. That's a tough division. So.
That's good because you're playing catch up. If you're playing,
you can have you can get that part of it. You can get the Jacoby Brissett effect if Kyler Murray can do it.
The Vikings didn't do much in the draft. They took mostly they started with offensive linemen and defense, and they took 2 running backs late, a 5th round pick and a 6th round pick. Their last pick of the draft, they took Toby Gerhardt's brother. He's a center. But, I don't know. So they didn't really, not too much, mostly defense. So we don't really have to focus on them too much. But, Kyler Murray, we'll have to wait and see. Justin Jefferson is definitely very interesting in the second round. TJ Hawkinson, obviously that was a bad year for him. He seemed like a value, but kind of never got going. Maybe he rebounds a little bit. Addison was inconsistent as well. So you'd think Murray would kind of, if he's going to elevate Jefferson, that should elevate the rest of the offense. All right, so let's talk about the team where Murray came from, the Arizona Cardinals. Taking Jeremiah Love out of Notre Dame, the third pick overall. Fairly interesting pick, I thought, based on what Arizona's did in the offseason. They signed James Conner. They bring in Tyler Algier. They still have Trey Benson, who's been struggling with injury. So, 3 talented backs, and they go out and they take a star running back who, I love. I'm a Notre Dame fan, big Rudy guy. I remember the Charlie Ward, Rick Meyer game, like 1993, that big national championship game. And I just remember loving Notre Dame as a kid and kind of just, I still follow him. So I remember playing Jeremiah Love in NCAA football like 2 years ago. He was awesome in that game. And, he's talented. I feel like maybe you think the hype got a little bit too much for him. Do you think it's a little bit out of control, or do you think that the Cardinals made the right pick? What do you think, Joe?
I definitely don't think the Cardinals made the right pick for themselves. Nothing against Jeremiah Love, but the Cardinals had plenty of other needs to address, in my opinion. And going for high draft capital running back when you're that much of a rebuild, I guess, is not optimistic, not optimal, I should say. But they did it. They took him third overall. He's clearly going to be the starting running back. I don't know what's going to happen with James Conner and Trey Benson now. Poor Tyler Algier finally gets freed, and then boom, a guy with just as high talent level and draft capital as Bijan's right there in front of him again. So I mean, with Jeremiah Love, we know that Arizona Cardinals led the league in passing attempts last year, passing attempts per game, I should say. So he's in position to. I think he could catch 50 balls. So I mean, I've already had this conversation with a couple of people. I don't know if I'm in on second round Jeremiah Love in redraft. I don't know. I'm still not sure if I'm in on that or not. I do know that I do think that if anything, he's only going to move up come August. I think he might end up at the beginning of the second round based on steam and hype, and if he looks good during preseason games. So I guess if you are going to be in on him, now's the time to get him. That's my opinion. My prediction. I think he's going to move up in ADP. As we get closer to August, but and maybe pairing him with a Jahmyr Gibbs or a Bijan Robinson in the back end of the second round is probably the best way to build with him. I don't know if I'm going. I mean, you can go wide receiver in the first round and take him in the second round, but then I still wouldn't feel comfortable without. I don't think I'd do a hero build with him. I think in the third or the fourth round, I'm pulling the trigger on another running back to give some RB depth, and in the event he doesn't pay off at that price. So I'm still undecided. Still got a lot of deep diving to do, but my initial thoughts are I don't think he's worth that price. But I guess if you pair him with Gibbs, that's an opportunity you got to take, I guess. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would say that, right now this is all about landing spots. We still got to do our due diligence on these players, but we're just kind of more talking about the situations. Mike, I'll go to you, man. The Cardinals have Tyler Algier and they have James Conner, who they signed to a contract. It was like a 1 year, $3 million deal. It's a small deal, but they keep him around. James Conner, he's a good running back. He's still good. He has his injury concerns, yeah, but he could maintain somewhat of like a Frank Gore type presence where he's kind of a pain in the ass to Jeremiah Love, or do you just feel like Jeremiah they took him third? He's going to get the majority of the carries. The other guys aren't really going to affect his fantasy value too much.
I mean, he's not going to get the goal line. I mean, they didn't keep Connor just to sit him on the sideline. They spent for Algier, even though it was a good price. I told Joey, it's like it's a traffic jam. It's like Steve. It's like the Brooklyn Queens Expressway or the LIE.
Cross Bronx Expressway, yeah.
Cross Bronx too. You got three of them. You got three of them.
They're all a mess. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? If Joe said he's right now, second round, Joe, late second round.
Yeah, mid to back end. Yeah.
And if he steams up, look. I haven't, it's me personally. I've been out on all these rookie running backs. Bijan, first year, CEH, last year. But you know what? Last year, because I wanted one share, I forced a Genti at numbers, and I took a Trevion at number 3. And those were my two best teams. So I'm just gonna have to take one share, but I'm fading him. I don't see how. I don't buy it. I mean, Hampton last. Look at these guys. They hype the guys in the business. They hype these guys up because they're trying to make money.
And it's dynasty season, and everybody gets very giddy.
They're trying to sell subscriptions. They're trying to whatever. It's a business. That's what they have to talk about. But me, I'm fading. But I might take them one team just so. Because that could be my best team, like it was last year. That was pure luck because I got McCaffrey and Jonathan Taylor in the second and third round after Genti, and I had a power team with Trevion Henderson in third. I got the Pickens, Dak, Lamb stack, and ETN. It was just worked out that way. I'm fading him. You can have him.
All right, yeah, and Steve G.
Tell me when it's worked.
Steve G says Love is a 4th rounder. He's about 40 drafts in already. We have Will Stevenson. We got Al. Al says he thinks they're going to cut Connor. I know Dan said the same thing, but they did sign him to a contract, so I don't know why they would just cut. There's probably a cap hit involved, so I don't think that's going to be happening.
I'll tell you what they'll do. I think James Conner. They won't play him as much. They'll have to use Algier if you follow the money. Love's going to be their guy. They'll just they'll showcase Conner a little bit. Save some of these backs get injured. They'll move him to maybe to a contender. Or they'll try to keep him fresh. They'll try to move him. I think they'll try to get something out. Running backs go down anyway, so he'll want out of that situation. They'll trade him later in the year.
Yeah, Steve, he's 2.3 1 year, $2.3 million, and his cap hit is 4.8 if they were to cut him. So
not a lot of money.
No.
Well, shout out to Jay. Jamie as well is in the chat. So we got some veterans of the show. We got some good people here. Anybody else want to chime in on this Jeremiah Love situation?
You guys think that
draft? You got to draft. Sorry, Josh. Go ahead.
I was just saying. I just wonder if the rest of the NFL just showed us what they think of Jeremiah Love, and nobody offered the Cardinals a bag to trade up and get him.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were just afraid not to pick him. He's there, and we just got to take him. I don't know.
That's a good point, Josh. You're right.
And also the narrative of this being a weak running back class could have pushed him up, his draft capital up into the top 10. We know that top 10, guys that go in the top 10 are usually surefire, positive, gonna be superstar type of players. We know that from the past. But like I said, if you're going to draft them, now's the time to draft them. If they go out and if as the off season goes on, we get into training camp and stuff. If they cut James Conner or they cut Trey Benson or So anything, if any one of those three backup running backs are not on the roster at some point, it's only gonna push his ADP up higher. So that's how I'm reading it. If you want to get a share of him in a big high stakes contest, now's the time to grab him. I don't think he's gonna get any cheaper.
Could he move up to like to Genty last year? Basically, what you're saying.
I think he could move up to the 1-2 turn. Right now, you can pair him with a top 5 pick. That's I think is most optimal. If you're getting him at the back end of round 2, you can pair him with a Puka Nacua. You can pair him with a Jamar Chase. You can pair him with Jahmyr Gibbs. You can pair him with Bijan if they fall, depending on you're pairing him with the top 5 fantasy pick. If you're getting them at the 1-2 turn, now you're pairing them. It's a bit of a drop off in like the teams that have them paired with the top 5 pick are going to have an edge, in my opinion. So
yeah, it's tough, man. Because Love, again, I think he's talented. I think the height may have got a lot of control. I want to go back and watch everything again myself, and I'll change my maybe I'll change my outlook on him. But I don't know. You got Algier and you got Connor and Jacoby Brissett's your quarterback, and like a rookie head coach, Mike LaFleur. I don't know. Just especially after the Genty debacle last year, like, I don't know. I don't know how much of a premium I really want to pay for him, based on his draft capital. Even though again, I'm a Notre Dame guy and I loved him in college. I want to see a little bit more out of him. Before I want to reassure myself if I'm really going to dive up and pay that premium. So it's a very, very interesting situation. We'll have to see how it plays out. But, the Cardinals, I don't know. I mean, Brissett obviously was fantasy gold for Trey McBride. So that's one thing that should remain. And then Jeremiah Love, I mean, he has that breakaway long speed. I mean, he could be breaking 50, 60, 70-yard touchdowns. But, a lot of people said about Trevion Henderson, but I think Love is probably the better back overall. So, all right, let's move on to another team here. Let's go with the number 1 pick, Fernando Mendoza, the Oakland Raiders, not the Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders. But they do have Kirk Cousins they bring into the building. So the Bible Bros are in town and in the Sin City. So that's going to be an interesting mix. Do you think Mendoza starts the year, or do you think Cousins starts the year?
That's a tough question. I'm not sure on that. I'll be honest with you. I don't. If I was him, I'd just go ahead and throw Mendoza out there. I mean, have Kirk Cousins coach him up. You drafted number 1, just go ahead and play him. I mean, I'd go ahead and play him. I mean, you got Bowers.
They're receivers. I mean, you got Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor. Okay, he's a good pickup, but he's like a 3rd wide receiver. Jack Betts, I kind of liked him. Maybe he kind of steps up this year. Dante Thornton, Randy Moss, they're trying to make him Randy Moss 2.0. He's kind of like the new Harold Miner, where they're trying to make him Baby Jordan. Remember that, Harold Miner, back in 1992? But if you guys remember that. So Dante Thornton never panned out. Genty, the offensive line was a complete disaster. So, I don't know. I think maybe it makes sense to throw Cousins out in the beginning. Josh, what do you think?
I'm on the side that thinks that they start Cousins, and then about halfway through the season they bring Mendoza in. I think that you see guys like Darnold, Mac Jones, some of these guys that weren't real good when they got thrown to the wolves, but then as they've had time, they've matured and learned and showed that they can be good quarterbacks in the NFL. So I'd like to see him sit for a while, honestly, and learn a little bit and get some time to adjust. But he's the number 1 pick, man, and it's Las Vegas. Everybody's going to want to see him out there.
And how much say-so does Tom Brady have in this?
That's what I wonder. I mean, Brady sat, So I don't know. I don't know what they do.
And you know, let's say they do throw Mendoza out there, a rookie quarterback with Bowers. I mean, a tight end, he'll catch 150 balls, right? He'll be unreal.
I like it for Bowers either way. Whoever's the quarterback, I think Bowers is in a he's going to have a nice bounce back season for sure. Clint Kubiak comes in. Joe, what do you think, Joe?
I think it's going to be similar to the Drake May situation when he was a rookie. I think we're going to get Kirk Cousins initially, and then like Josh said, it's Las Vegas. All it's going to take is for them, maybe they're in a couple of close games and Kirk Cousins makes a goof and throws a pick and loses them a game where they could have won. I think it's only going to take a couple of those type of situations, and then we'll see Mendoza. I don't think it's going to be the full season. I know everybody says, oh, they consider full season. They learn a lot. They'll get better. They'll be more comfortable. Instead of throwing them into the wolves where the offensive line was subpar and they don't really have an alpha wide receiver. Their wide receiver one is Brock Bowers. Interesting to see if they add to the wide receiver room, via free agency. There's a couple of decent names out there still. You got Debo Samuel still out there. We don't know what's going to happen with Stephon Diggs. Juwan, yeah, we don't, they could add to that wide receiver room. But like Joey said, Brock Bowers is primed to have a shit. He's easily going to go over 100 targets. There's no doubt about that. He stays healthy. And I think Ashton Genty is in prime position to also, get 20 touches a game. So we saw him get used in the pass catch and roll from mid-season to the end last year. He had a couple of games in there where he had 5 or 6 plus receptions. I think he had an 8 reception game at one point. So yeah, man, I think Mendoza is in there by like week 4, week 5. I think it's going to be similar to the Drake May situation.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think Cousins is going to start. This is not like I remember when Deshaun Watson was a rookie, and I think the Texans had Tom Savage, and they started him for like one game. Tom Savage was horrible. There was like no reason to start a guy like Tom Savage. And Deshaun Watson was like, you kind of just knew he was better. This is not like, this is not a bad starting quarterback. This is Kirk Cousins. Like, he's had a lot of success in this league. So yeah, I think considering the rebuilding and this is a younger team, I think that's the way they're going to go. Mike, do you agree with that?
Yeah, I guess. I don't think Cousins didn't look too good last year. I think he wasn't bad down the stretch there. I just don't think he has it. I don't think he has it physically anymore. He's like in a rocking chair. But I didn't like Joey. I think said they're going to play the kid, and he's going to get most of the game. Fantasy wise, I don't think. Like you guys mentioned, I think it's Genty and Bowers. Neither of these quarterbacks are going to interest me in fantasy, and I don't. They don't get they don't up their wide receiver core. I don't see how a quarterback can get be fantasy relevant really on that team.
Steve, where do you see? How do you see Mendoza playing out? Like for dynasty owners, like what do you think his ceiling is? You think he can ever be a top 12 quarterback, or are we looking at a high end QB2? What do you think?
I don't know. He doesn't have. He runs a little bit, right? So I'd have to, I have to assess him a little bit more, but I don't know. Yeah, he doesn't really have that running upside, so I don't know how excited I get really, especially. With these receivers, I know he has Bowers, but I don't know. I don't think I'm going to go too crazy, for Mendoza. So, maybe top 12. I don't even know. I got to see. I don't know if Mike LaFleur is a good coach. He didn't really have much success. He comes from a good family and a good tree, obviously, but Trey Tucker, Naylor, Betch. I mean, I understand you got Bowers, but this team still seems like it has a lot of problems. So I don't know how excited I am. Maybe in a couple of years, especially considering Cousins is, could start some games. But I haven't done my full assessment on Mendoza yet. So
it's Kubiak's the coach in the Raiders, though.
Yeah, Kubiak. Yeah,
he's a good. I think he is.
Oh, sorry, I was talking about.
I think I agree with you in Arizona with the Florida.
Yeah, you're right. No, Kubiak's a good coach. Kubiak's a good coach. Yeah, I have much more faith in him. You're right. Yeah,
but he doesn't have to. I think this year. I mean, in the future, maybe he could be real fantasy relevant, Mendoza. But anyway, if you
I don't know. He would have to be like
he would have to be like he would have to be like
He would have to be a guy that could throw like 30, 40 touchdowns. Can you see Mendoza on 40 touchdowns one year? I don't know.
Yeah, you hold it. You draft him late, last, whatever. He's not going to be. You're not drafting him as your starter in fantasy unless you want to give away, money.
Joe was talking about dynasty though, so
right.
Dynasty. But I'm just I think he's going to be he's got a chance to be a solid quarterback. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know. I saw him play a couple times in college. I got to do my full assessment on him. That's to be determined. So we'll see. I don't really like the talent there, but I do like Kubiak and Bowers and Genty's nice to have too. And they drafted this kid, Mike Washington, who everybody is very, very high on in the 4th round as well. So that's going to be interesting to see how, if he pops into Genty's workload a little bit. I'll see. A lot of people are really, really high on him as well. Where do you guys want to go next? Do you want to talk about the Eagles and what they did, Mike? Taking Lemon in the 1st round and then the tight end Stowers in the 3rd round. AJ Brown, we'll see. It sounds like he's out at this point. Like they also signed Dontavian Wicks.
I like it.
Go ahead, Mike. What do you think about what Philly did in the draft?
I think with Joe, it's going to be interesting when Mannion's offense, where they're going to throw the ball. They're going to, is Hurts going to throw the ball in the middle of the field? For the last 5 years, he's been dead last in throwing in the middle of the field. Even the Goddard, the tight end, he doesn't, the majority of his throws are not in the middle of the field. This kid they drafted, that's his bread and butter. He's a down, he's a Landry type, what have you, in the middle of the field. He's a slot receiver. One thing though so I think that kid's got potential, but there's a lot of, you got Wicks, you also got Hollywood Brown in the mix, you got even Elijah Moore. They only had 2 wide receivers last year. Now they got 5. I don't cut Dotson. I don't think he ran. He caught what he was just insignificant. But one thing I did hear what they're talking about is people inside. They think Smith can have that. I mean, not the JSN rocket ship, but they think he's going to have a major boost in production. He's going to have a big year. That's what they're talking about. But like Joe mentioned the other night, I mean, Jalen Hurts is for fantasy. We're talking. He's 9th round. Joe, you said right?
Yeah, 9th round. Yeah.
I mean, you make a mistake. Do you take? If you take him there, it's not going to kill you. But I don't think. It'll be interesting to see what happens. If Hurts, he's going to have to throw the ball into the middle of the field where guys, believe me, I go to every game, guys are open. Whether we ran the most hitch routes or not, when they're in the middle of the field, there's guys open, and we'll see. But the only guy I'm interested in fantasy-wise is probably Smith, and Joe said he's going, 4th round. I think could be a good value. Maybe Barkley now will catch more balls out of the backfield. But the kid, I think he'd be a good player. It's a good value in the draft. Rosen made a good move because he was supposedly he should have been going much earlier. He was a lot of guys had him as the number 2 or 1, even 1 wide receiver. So time will tell. It'll be an interesting training camp. And Joe in New England, they're going to be they're going they're going to have one of the stronger wide receiver courts in the league.
When are we expecting that trade to happen?
June 2nd, because that's when right after June 1st, it's going to happen.
So it's 100%. He's going to the Patriots, Joe. You think?
I'm a little worried about it because I'm not sure what's going to happen with Mike Vrabel. I'm hearing a lot of things that I think that there's more information to come out with this whole Vrabel Rossini thing. I'm afraid we're going to find out Vrabel's a dad. And he's gonna have to resign. Like that's like my worst nightmare.
Well, they said They said that that if there's a kid involved, then the Titans and the Patriots could lose draft picks over this. Like this is just unbelievable because Joe Carlton since like week 2 of last year has been like, I think the Patriots need to go out and get AJ Brown in a trade before the trade deadline. Like you've been going after this for 7 months, and now it's going to happen, and Vrabel screws it up. Like it's just blowing my mind.
Yeah, I don't know if AJ Brown still comes there if Vrabel resigns. I don't think that that's going to happen, but it's not out of the range of outcomes. It really isn't. So there's been some rumblings of it already here. People talking about it on the radio.
Yeah, I mean,
a little bit of a buzz.
Roseman's the best GM in the league. Probably nobody's going to either the top 2, but nobody is going to argue that, right? I don't think he makes the moves he made. He's gone. They have a deal no matter what. I mean,
nothing's no matter what.
I'll tell you,
we saw what happened with Max Crosby. And AJ Brown's gone.
Think he's gone.
He's just not going to the Patriots.
I think Roseman's too small. I mean, look at the moves. I mean, it's the handwriting's on the wall. He's going. AJ Brown's going off the Eagles team.
They're throwing a lot of shit at the wall for sure. The Eagles. I mean, Wicks,
Hollywood
Brown, Elijah Moore.
They move up to draft the wide receiver.
They move up with the freaking Cowboys, and the Cowboys get downs. The Cowboys got Caleb Downs out of that trade.
That was a good move for both teams.
Yeah, heck yeah. And Jerry Jones got to screw over Mike McCarthy. So, that was very nice.
I think AJ Brown's gone. He's not going to be on the roster. The financial advantage is after June 1st. That's why they couldn't make the trade during the around the draft time.
Right.
The money's just it didn't make any financial sense. So he's gone. I mean, somebody did mention there's another team, and was it the Raiders maybe? But he's going off. He's going either way, most likely to New England.
Does anybody have any thoughts on Lemon? Does anybody have any good insights on him? I honestly haven't got a good look at him. Does anybody have any good insights on him? We could save that for a later show. Again, this is more about the landing spots. We still got to do our due diligence a little bit, but especially
the only thing they say is he's only effective in the slot. He can't, but she's going to be.
Yeah, but that's the way the NFL's going nowadays.
Yeah, I mean that's what he's good. I mean he's
got it in the slot. Are kings now. They're kings.
He's tough after the catch, they say, like an early Landry type. I mean, will he be? There's a lot of mouths to feed. Will he be a productive?
Do we think that Jalen
Hurts? I think I'll have some inconsistencies.
Do we think the Eagles are kind of like regressing and Jalen Hurts is regressing, and this is kind of a or are we getting excited about the Eagles in fantasy again?
No, I think Hurts balls out. I think once he gets rid of AJ Brown, he'll prove. I think, especially like what Joe said, he's going. I mean, he's going to pay off, even if he moves up to say 7th round.
Yeah, for fantasy, he's right. I mean,
I think fantasy wise,
how could you lose? How could you lose taking him in the 9th round? If he runs the ball, is he going to run the ball this? I mean, yeah, he's probably going to run the ball more.
I think he's got something. Like I said, I think A.J. Brown was just giving him such a hard time.
I mean, Lane Johnson, the
Much
offensive
plays.
line will be, at least to start the season, will be much better because Lane Johnson's back. And hopefully Dickerson, at least they'll be healthy somewhat in the beginning of the at least to start the year. Yeah, it's a no-brainer. I mean, you can't lose. I think the guy that could be exciting is Devontae Smith.
By the way, the Sixers are up 98-80 on the Celtics, so we're gonna have a game 7.
Oh yeah, I
Joe,
hate the Celtics. I hate the Celtics. So you guys,
I don't know.
You get the Flyers jersey on. You might as well get the Sixers jersey on now. Hey, Mike,
I don't like. I haven't liked the 76ers since they had Allen Iverson, baby.
We're hot in Philadelphia.
He was one of my favorites.
We fired
All right,
Thompson.
let's keep it rolling. Steve G, by the way, Steve G says Tyson,
and now the Sixers might beat the Celtics.
Yeah,
Steve
Jordan Tyson did get the best landing spot. Yeah.
Yeah, he says he thinks he's the best receiver too, so that's interesting.
He is, but he's got to find a way to stay on the field. The guy's got a different injury every single time too. I was reading up on him a little bit because I did see some very sharp players in fantasy analysts say that Jordan Tyson over Connell Tate. So his route running skills are really good. He doesn't have like breakaway, like take the top off the defense type of speed. So I don't see like, a lot of long touchdowns, but the elite route running skills is what I've seen.
Again, that's the way the NFL's going with these slot receivers. That's why, I missed the boat on some of these guys, and these guys have been excelling, and that's kind of the way the league's going now. Will Stevens says that he likes Lemon's tape, but there's something about the Eagles' history in drafting wide receivers and then drafting a dude named Lemon that scares me a bit. Will Stevenson is in the car business, so that's why he probably referenced that. Shout out, if you need a car, hit him up. Got a lot of good deals. Someone who is being talked about benefiting from Lemon is Saquon.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. Let's move on to another team here. Another receiver that was taken early. Saints. They took a receiver. Jordan Tyson. Yeah, all in the first round, eighth pick overall. Yeah, out of Arizona State. So Tyler Shuck, we saw the Spencer Rattler experience last year. That was, he was better than his rookie year. His rookie year, he was absolutely horrible. That's why I thought Tyler Shuck was going to win the job coming out. But it took him like halfway through the year. Tyler Shuck started a little slow, and then he really, really came on towards the end of the year. So it was a good fantasy situation. We saw what Olave did down the stretch. He was money. Juwan Johnson was kind of, Juwan Johnson is like the hardest guy to figure out. He's good for 3 games, and he's terrible for 6 games, and he's good 1 year, he sucks 1 year. And he's always a value. But anyway, Olave was great. They had Devon Vele, who they got from the Broncos. I think it was like a 3rd or 4th round pick they gave up. They bring in ETN to battle with Kamara. We'll see how that works out after Kendre Miller. He can't stay healthy. These guys hurt every single year. But now Olave and Tyson, they traded away Shaheed to the Seahawks. Tyler Shuck, I think you got to be pretty excited. The only thing is they lose Kubiak here. They did. They lost him 2 years. My bad. They have the coach from the Cowboys now,
Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah. But he did good in his rookie year. I mean, he got Tyler Shuck in the offense. He looked good. Olave had a nice year. So I think you got to be pretty excited for Jordan Tyson in this offense. That's one player I think I might be kind of excited about. Again, I got to look at him in further detail, but Joey, what do you think about that?
I like the Saints. We talked about it the other night. I like Tyler Shuck. I like Tyson. I like Olave. I like Juwan Johnson. 2nd year under Kellen Moore. I think the sky's the limit for the Saints. Saints could probably – they may win that division. I mean, I think they can win the division. And
All right.
Tyson, Olave needed somebody else over there to help him. They needed a number 2. And but like Joe said earlier, I mean, it could all go south. I mean, Olave with his concussion history, and then Tyson he's had a lot of injuries, so they just got to stay upright. Poor Shuck, but I do like Tyler Shuck a lot. I like him a whole lot. I've drafted him on my 2 teams already that I did. So, but you
John,
get him late.
Josh, what do you think about Tyson? Are you kind of excited about this rookie receiver here in this spot?
I don't hate this spot. The more that I read about it and see, and then he's got Olave across from him and up tempo offense. Moore's offenses are in the top 5 the last 5-6 years in pace of play. So that means he's going to get plenty of opportunities. That when they're out there on the field, they're going to get a lot of snaps. So, Shaheed did well across from Olave last year while he was there. So we'll see what happens. But I mean, that was an offense that put up some fantasy numbers last year. So
I mean, I think Tyson's landing spot is better than Lemon's to me.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And he's going later. I mean, Lemon's going 25th at receiver. Tyson's going 33rd. I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, Olave might eat into his targets a lot, but I mean, again, I got to assess this kid more. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Joe?
I like the landing spot. I'm in on the New Orleans Saints as a whole this year. They went out, they got Travis Etienne, major upgrade at running back there. Tyler Shuck, I thought looked really good last year. He's somebody that I was gonna, as the season was winding down and I started my potential 2026 value targets, he was one that immediately popped into my head. I might be targeting him. I don't know. I got to see because, everybody knows I don't take an early quarterback. I'm a wait on quarterback guy. So that's kind of how I was viewing Shuck. Could be a league winner if the offense takes off. Josh made a great point earlier. Kellen Moore, he's always in the top 5 in offensive plays called, snaps. Overall snaps, so the pace of play is there. They're going to be competing for a division title, and you got Chris Olave drawing top coverage, and you got an elite separator going against secondary defensive backs. I think it's a smash. He's going. Steve, what did you say? Wide receiver 33.
33, yeah.
Let me see. I got no, because I didn't filter it out yet. Yeah. So why? Yeah, that's what 7th, 8th round. Yeah. That could be a nice pick. I could see him getting 80 plus catches if he can stay healthy.
He's going in front of Christian Watson, DJ Moore. So you are paying a little bit of a premium for him. Parker Washington, Alec
Going ahead of Watson, really.
One spot ahead. I mean, this is based on like a consensus between underdog and sleeper.
Oh, okay.
But how about Joe? How about NFC?
I just brought it up. I'm looking now.
I'm trying to find it too.
Connell Tate is wide receiver 30. Jordan Tyson's wide receiver 36. So he's going at pick 70. Pick 70 and is in the earliest he's been taken in the 4 completed Football Guys Championship online championships is 63. So
Let me pull that up too.
That is a premium.
But
63 is high. 63 is definitely high.
Even 70, really. I mean, Olave's still a monster.
I wouldn't take him in front of Watson. To me, that's I can't
Nah,
do that. That's crazy.
I wouldn't even take him in front of DJ
No.
Moore.
No,
He's
not
not-
DJ Moore either. No chance.
No, he's not in front of those guys. He's
in this one I'm looking at, he is.
him
you're looking-
him and Lemon are basically back to back. Same exact ADP pretty much.
I mean, I like him better than Lemon for fantasy.
It goes Alec Pierce, wide receiver 34. DK Metcalf. Actually, we'll start with DK Metcalf. Brian Thomas is 32, but he's a little higher
I'm gonna pull
ADP.
this board up now.
So we got DK Metcalf, Alec Pierce, Michael Wilson, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon, Parker Washington, Cortland Sutton, and Ricky Pearsall in that range.
All right, here we go. This is kind of a weird screen. It's kind of like extra bright.
That new screen is
Yeah, it's weird. So many colors.
I'm a huge fan of dark mode, but
Is that the
Man.
NFC?
yeah, that's the
Like I'm,
NFC updated the website, and it's
I feel like I'm
Really?
tripping over here.
Oh God!
How do you have it like that? I have a list.
so you can do
Oh,
you can do classic
ADP board.
ADP, or you
I
can do
pulled up the
ADP
board.
board.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
the draft board?
Yeah,
Oh God!
Oh yeah, I got.
There's too many pinks in there.
I need. Jeez, yeah.
Pinks and purples
green
and
and-
oranges and yellows.
Gotta be
there's always
kidding me.
yellows, yeah, that's crazy. The pinks and the purples.
Have people been bitching about it? I'm sure.
oh yeah.
Tyson's
yeah.
here in the 6th round.
They say they're going to switch it, Josh.
Watson in the 5th.
Change it.
Oh, I don't know. I
Bringing
know
it-
that one of Fantasy Savvy's own that's not on the show tonight immediately was texted me and was like, dude, this new site is so bad. He's like, wait till you see the draft board. It hurts my eyes. And I'm like, oh, dude, dark mode's awesome. It'll be fine. And then I went inside, got on the computer, and I'm like, oh, boy, this is rough.
Can you get this
Yeah,
on
I
dark
don't know.
mode? How the hell you get on dark mode?
It's all, I don't know. That's just the way the website
They're
is.
trying to get it
All
on.
right.
Like, they're trying to give you
Yeah.
an option for the other.
Yeah, I need a dark mode. I need a dark mode on
They're
this
working on. Jeez.
Or
that's
like,
bad.
get rid of the pinks and the purples.
Something with the yellow and the white's really rough. for me.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Joe. This is going to keep my
We'll
addiction
get
to
used to
drafting
it.
OC. It's going to keep my OCs under. It's good for me
Pretty in pink.
because I'm not going to want to.
Oh yeah, if I put my sunglasses on, I can see the board a lot better.
Yeah, I'm just gonna put my glasses on. Okay, that's good. Well, I could go outside in the sun and look at this. That might be better. All right. What the hell are we talking
Jay says we can switch it to light mode
When now? I think they're working on it. They said,
on
right?
the bottom. Is that bottom left? I gotta see this.
about? Oh yeah, he's right. He's
Oh
right.
yeah, go switch it. See now.
This is dark, so this
Right.
is light. Hold on.
Give me light.
Ah, there we go.
Oh,
there's
man,
the
there
old
it is.
board.
Yeah,
Thank God.
yeah. The dark.
That's
mode is
much
crazy.
better. Yeah, much better.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay. Shout out to Jay for that. He's on top of things. All right.
Jay's
Um,
good.
All right. Anything else with the Saints here? I mean, we touched on the ETN thing. We could touch on it at different times. It's more about the draft boards. But actually, Steve G did mention Oscar Delp, the tight end they took in the 3rd round. He says this kid is kind of intriguing. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on him. So we can keep it moving.
I don't know him.
I don't know. I don't know
I-
enough about him to add value to
All right.
the conversation.
Let me see what I can pull up real quick.
All right. If not, we'll talk about Seattle Seahawks real quick.
Delp, he's 6'5", 245, 31-inch arm length, 22. He's going to be 23 when going into next season. He was drafted in the 3rd round, 9th pick in the 3rd round. Let's see what we got. He's athletic tight end whose speed down the seam stands out. He's used comfortably as both an inline blocker and a slot or wide alignment. He's a versatile tight end. Projects as a mid to late day 2 or late 3. But yeah, he went.
Well, he's still got to beat out Juwan Johnson. Juwan Johnson is probably going to have his,
he's stuck.
Seniority there.
He's stuck behind them. Yeah, I think he's stuck behind Juwan Johnson.
All right, let's talk about the Seahawks. So they take Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love's backfield, companion there at Notre Dame, another talented running back. Obviously no more Kenneth Walker. Charbonnet is coming off an ACL injury. So this is interesting for Price. I mean, he's in a really good opportunity. I think with Seattle. I like it. I mean, I was never really high on Charbonnet. I think Price, may take over this backfield with the ACL injury that Charbonnet is going to have to rehab from and come back from, which was later in the year. Didn't he suffer like the end of the year or the first playoff game, whatever? So, I mean, this was a late stage injury. I mean, he could come back week 1 or week 3, whatever. He could be a presence and it could be sort of a committee, but I'm kind of excited about Price. I think this is a really good opportunity and a good spot for him. Joey, what do you think here?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he can take his job and run with it. I mean, let me ask you this, Steve. Did they run any zone blocking scheme in Notre Dame? I know you said you watched all of them. That's really what.
To be honest, I'm not. To be honest, I can't even tell you. So I don't know.
But I mean, he's got all the opportunity to take off with this job, and like I said, if he does good, I mean, they won't, even when Charbonnet comes back, they probably won't rush him back. So he's got a real good opportunity, and especially where he probably is going in drafts. I mean, especially if you go wide receiver heavy, I mean, it'd be worth a shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, I like this spot. Josh, what do you think?
Well, I like it too. I mean, he's got Holani to deal with, and that's basically it. I know there's another running back that they've got there, and I can't remember who it is, but
Emmanuel Wilson.
There you go.
Oh, yeah, they did bring in Emmanuel Wilson from the Packers too. That's true.
But I mean, I think that for oh shoot, his name just slipped my mind. But the running back's got his ACL torn. I think he's looking at like week 10 for Charbonnet at the probably at the earliest, and then there's the 4 to 6 week ramp up period. So I mean, this kid's he's in a great spot, I think. I don't know. I mean, he played behind Love, so maybe we didn't get to see real full taste of him anyways. So I like it.
Mike, any thoughts on Price here? The one thing, the one thing that may hurt him, his pass protection skills aren't the best.
Mm-hmm.
Charbonnet obviously was playing over Walker, mostly because of that. I think obviously we all know Kenneth Walker was the more talented back. I mean, he showed that when he got the opportunity in the playoffs. Charbonnet, he went in there, blue collar worker, did his job, pass protected well. So that's the one thing that could hurt him. Maybe some fumbling issues as well for Price. So, but I don't know. Sometimes that stuff's overrated. Again, pass protection. That's something coaches obviously pay attention to. So if Charbonnet's healthy, if he can get back, the first couple weeks of the season. But I still think it's a great opportunity. I mean, first round pick, end of the first round. I like it. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I totally agree with you. The only thing that somebody mentioned, I forget, I was saying the other night on on the series channel that, they got Wilson from the Packers.
Yeah.
He might be, the first and second down back, at least early on. He did a decent job with Jacobs. But, I don't know how that mixes in, at least with with Price in the beginning, at least in the first month or so, because they want some. I guess they want somebody with experience, at least early on. But yeah, I mean, I guess he's. Where's he going? Where's he going? Price in the drafts? Was he in here?
He
Can't see
went
this.
in.
Oh, I see.
He went middle of the 6th round in the OC Sunday night.
That's a little. I mean, that's. I don't know if I draft him there, but I mean, it's not a.
Before,
You go for running back specs. There, that's where you go for that. The second, could pan out, but probably not till probably late. Not the first month of the season. I don't think. I think
that was after
ninth round year.
Yeah. So in that draft, he went 2 picks after David Montgomery, and then the next two running backs that was taken after Price was Jalen Warren, and then almost a full round later, Chuba Hubbard, which still went before Pollard.
Kind of like that spot. I mean,
I like him better than Pollard, probably.
Would you rather have Price or Algier? I don't know.
Price.
I'd rather
Price,
have.
sure.
I'd rather have Corum better than both of them.
Price is going as high as pick 65 since the NFL draft. So
65.
That's just
high.
that's beginning of round 5.
I like the spot. I like the 9th round. I mean, here, if that's where he's going.
Yeah, I don't think
Steve. That's factoring in the drafts that happened before the landing spot as well.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, this draft I've got pulled up. Steve G was in, and I think if Steve said he got Christian Watson in that draft, then that means he's the one that took Price, which I think's probably in a pretty good spot compared to the running backs that went after him.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Okay,
to
you're
see
right. 6th round. Yeah.
I'm interested to see how much run Emmanuel Wilson gets up until shot. I want to see. I do think it's going to be a 2-man backfield with Charbonnet while Charbonnet's recovering.
What Josh? What draft is this? When was this done?
So they did it on the High Stakes Fantasy Network. Greg and Jeff hosted it, and
this is an OC.
It's an OC. They did it Sunday night. It's on their YouTube channel. So if I don't watch
not the one on the board, not the one on the board. No.
Yeah, not the one on the board. This is another one I have pulled up on the side.
This is one right here where Price goes in the 6th round. Because I wish I was in that draft. That guy who took 6th round, he took back-to-back quarterbacks.
Yeah. So that's a different board too.
Yeah, that was Team 3 didn't show up. I listened to that draft.
And Team 10, what is he? His second wide receiver is Worthy. Oh God, that's like. Why can't I? I'll buy it. Put $1,000 to get in that league. Jesus.
I still think that's because that's a different board than what I have up.
Like I said, I know some of these players that plays in this, they definitely know the rules, but like Team 10, it's not best ball. You don't need 3 quarterbacks. I mean,
10 is taking 3 quarterbacks.
I think that's an auto draft team or something.
That's what I was going to say. I wouldn't. Yeah.
Either that or he's on.
Well, this is an average of all drafts of the OCs from April 24th to April 30th.
Oh, I got you.
So it's an average of 3 or 4 drafts.
Hold on. Let me go back to
that's an average.
Guys. If you do, let me see.
There we go.
When was that? Yeah,
we get like a one draft.
Sunday night, whenever Sunday night was.
This is after the draft until today. I got it set on. So 6th round, middle of the 6th round, he's going in.
Yeah, there you go.
FF Rabbit Dad says, I'm not saying he's going to be a league winner, but I'm highly in on Emmanuel Wilson. I see Seattle using a committee approach similar to last year.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. That's what they were saying.
And I'll take the discount on Wilson over Price every day, all day. And he doesn't think Charbonnet will be back before November.
I think the guy's right. I agree with
the
that.
first round, end of the first round, we have to make our assessments. This is more about the landing spots. We're guessing, our final analysis has not come to fruition yet. But yeah, it could very well be correct on the Emmanuel Wilson take. Thank God I'm not drafting yet because I think he's going the 9th round. As Steve G says, he's going to the 6th round. Obviously,
he looked
shaking up the Russell.
Wilson looked really good when he got some opportunity.
Yeah, he's not bad. He's not bad. Yeah.
No,
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. What else did Seattle do in the draft?
not much.
They took a receiver in the 6th round out of Kansas, and that's Emmanuel Henderson Jr. All right, let's talk about the Titans. Carnell Tate, 1st round pick, 4th overall, to pair with Cam Ward. The receivers there are kind of underwhelming. Let's be honest. I mean, Tennessee. Calvin Ridley is a hot mess. I don't know what's going to go on with him. They bring in Wan'Dale Robinson. That's a good pick. Aya Manor, I don't think he's that good. DK kind of showed some flashes last year. Chig Okonkwo is out of the way, so that's Gunnar Helm gets to step up. But Carnell Tate with Cam Ward. Cam Ward, first half of the season, he looked completely lost. And that's kind of when I paid attention to him. I was like, wow, he needs to really work on a lot of things because he doesn't look good at all. But I always kind of felt about Cam Ward that when I watched him initially in college and watched his tape, I kind of felt like he would get better as he continued to play and learn the league. And that's what he did in the second half of the season. So now they get Carnell Tate, who everybody was kind of shitting on because of his 40 time. But I've heard comparisons, excellent route runner, similar to like a Devontae Adams, kind of a technician type, even though he doesn't have that 40 time. So this is interesting. I mean, this could be a nice 1-2 punch for Tennessee. Does anybody have any strong feelings on Carnell Tate? I'll kind of just open it up. Anybody that wants to jump in.
I'll go. I think he's going to step in and give us immediate production. He's definitely the wide receiver one, can carve out wide receiver one for that team. Cam Ward, there was a lot of things to like in the second half of the season. You got Brian Dable in there now as offensive coordinator. We see what he can do with young quarterbacks. If in my opinion, the best passing season Josh Allen ever had was under Brian Dable. So I think that things are heading in the right direction for Tennessee, and I could see Carnell Tate having a elite target share over 25%. Going to have the volume and the opportunity right away to do it. The team could be playing from behind or in dogfights pretty much all season. So I think that game scripts will favor will be friendly and favor fantasy friendly numbers. So yeah, man, I'm in on Carnell Tate this year. I like the landing spot, and I think the opportunity is going to be there for him. Let me look at the ADP on him.
Yeah, he went round 6 of this draft.
6th round. Yeah,
round 6. Yeah. I think he could be a nice mid to late season hammer too if they build a chemistry there and he catches a rhythm. And I mean, we seen Ibuka rip off a 4 or 5 game stretch early on last year. I mean, Tate probably if the same talent level, if not better. You know what I mean? He just went, he went 4th overall. We're talking top 10. I mentioned it earlier, how much of a sure thing these top 10 picks usually are. Draft capital is
the average you're looking at, or is this an actual draft board we're looking at?
This is draft board from Sunday night.
This is the 24th through the 30th, the average.
That's
it's
the
not
average.
the average. It's not a single board.
Yeah, but they haven't had
No, it's not a
another.
single
They
board,
haven't
no.
done another one.
There's not that many drafts. What is it? I
So
don't
it's
know.
4. It's 4 completed drafts.
4 drafts.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why he goes. I mean, I agree with Joe, but I wouldn't take him in the 6th round looking at this board.
Why not?
I
Well,
still went after him.
It depends on the build. It depends on your build, really.
Not
I
really.
don't mind- I don't mind
I'm just
him in the
talking wide
6th round.
receivers. There's wide receivers I'd take.
Brian Thomas was going in the 6th round his rookie year, and I was all over that.
I mean, I'll take Pierce. I'll take Wilson. I might take either Jacksonville wide receiver.
Yeah, it depends on the build. You might have receivers already. You know, you might miss out on those guys. You know,
Wide receiver 3 on that team.
I think Ward's going to, he's going to improve, like you said, with Dable, but we'll see.
I like it. I think that they're heading in the right direction. For sure.
But I would have
Right.
definitely taken him before Lemon.
yeah. I was going to ask Josh that. Who would you rather have, Lemon or Tate?
Tate.
Tate for sure.
I'm going Tate. I might eat these words, but I doubt it. I'm just not a Mekhi Lemon guy. I don't know. He looked a little lazy at the combine, and then I don't know, man. I'm just having a hard time telling if this guy's taking this serious or not. To be honest with you,
That's good. I think I asked that earlier. Yeah. But
no, I'll take Tate. I mean, you got Dable, who's we're talking about, and he's a definite upgrade from who Cam Ward had last year. And once they got the head coach out of the way last year, that's when Cam Ward finally started to show his improvements and grow. You guys talked about him being somebody that could grow and improve, and that's the main thing you want to see, is that a guy's building on things. And I don't know. I don't mind Tate at the right value there, and at all. And I don't mind Cam Ward a little later in the rounds.
yeah, again, I think it comes down to your evaluation on Tate. If you really believe in him as a player and he's going to be the number 1 receiver there, I mean, he could have an excellent rookie season with Cam Ward. Again, you got to double check yourself on Cam Ward a little bit too. I mean, do you have full trust in him as a quarterback in his 2nd year? But yeah, with Dable, Joe brings up a good point. I think that's an upgrade at coach, head coach for sure. So, Brian Thomas is crazy. Michael Wilson, the year he had, him and Harrison going in the same round is crazy to think about. From where they were last year. Who would you guys? I mean, we'll just go back. Just a quick question for Joey. Who would you rather have, Joey? Harrison, Tate, or Michael Wilson in this round?
I'd probably go Tate.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I think I agree with you there.
Yeah, I'm with that as well.
Do we see a regression for Michael Wilson this year, or?
I kind of think that maybe they don't want Brissett throwing as much as he did. Maybe that's why they brought Love in. Maybe none of us said that. Maybe they want to run multiple running backs, scale down the offense, and
I mean,
he slings it.
but if they're losing in the second half,
they're gonna have to throw.
I mean, that's when Jacoby Brissett and Michael Wilson was just cranking out the fantasy points. Was second half of the 3rd quarter and the 4th quarter, they were crushing it because they were losing, and it was just gunslinger time. That's what makes Jacoby Brissett fun.
I will say this,
but I think that in the same breath, the Titans could be in the same situations this year, and Cam Ward and Tate and these guys can benefit from the same deal.
Let
with the
me
position that they're in.
let me
I know
toss a
everybody
question.
was-
Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead,
I
Joe.
said everybody on this panel, like I said, you all can correct me if I'm wrong. The only other option, if you said, look at these three, is this the year 3 for Marvin Harrison? You know, there's always a year 3 breakout in wide receivers. Maybe he finally shows up. You know,
Yeah, I don't know.
he's been
I don't
underwhelming.
So I want to throw out a question on the Arizona situation. Do you guys think Jacoby Brissett starts all 17 games? They did draft Carson Beck, and they could be tanking for a 2027 quarterback as well. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Carson Beck is they want him to develop or anything like that. But at some point, maybe they put what if Brissett gets banged up and they have to put him in, and the full on tank is on. You know what I mean? Because
which side's gonna cave? Is Jacoby gonna play, or is the Cardinals gonna have to pony up and give him some better money?
Yeah.
Because if they give him more money, then I think that they got to run with him. If they're losing, if they're
Right.
if they give him more money,
2 and 8, then maybe he gets yanked and they throw Beck out there and they go, let's see what this kid has, because if not, we gotta draft a quarterback in 27.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think there's a range of outcomes where Brissett does not play all 17 games, and that's kind of scary for the rest of the offense, because you're investing in Trey McBride, you're invested in Michael Wilson or Marvin Harrison at cost, and you're kind of drafting them. I mean, what are they? Harrison and Wilson is what, 6th round?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's risky. It's the buying into the entire offense, and this is an offense that I do think they're still going to be playing from behind, and I do think that they're going to have to pass all the time. It's just what can Carson Beck maintain what Jacoby Brissett was maintaining is I guess is my question.
I think Jacoby Brissett will start until he gets hurt, or like you said, like if they're completely out of it, maybe see what Beck's got. But I'm taking Wilson over Harrison every time. I'll take Wilson over him every time. I'd rather have Wilson. He showed me way more than Harrison ever had. So
Harrison can't separate.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's not that explosive. He's not that explosive. I think he succeeded in his college, and maybe his game just doesn't translate as well in the NFL. So, and then Brian Thomas is another one. I mean, I love Brian Thomas coming out. I didn't really like Harrison that much, but I love Brian Thomas. He had a great rookie year, and then last year he just looked. We talked about him in depth. He looked like he was out of it. He looked like he was scared. He looked like he didn't belong in that offense, and he was hurt. So. I don't know. I think Tate and Wilson are kind of the most intriguing receivers to me in this round right now.
Well,
Thomas is there too, but I got to convince myself to have the balls to go back and draft him again after what happened last year.
To give you a better answer on what you was asking me about that reason why I went with Tate. Let's say Wilson, he earned more targets. And then when you throw McBride in there, you're going to eat in the Harrison and Wilson's target share. So that's the reason why, like Joe said, I mean, Tate end up with 25 to 30% target share. I guess, I think I have to go Tate in that realm just because it's going to be a 3-way split. And Wilson may overtake Harrison. I mean, it could go either way. We just have to wait and see. But the target share is a big deal in fantasy. That's what we all like. We look for target monsters, and
I mean, and maybe what if Arizona is better than we think, and they do put together some wins, and they are running the ball effectively. I mean, you have to consider that too. But if Jeremiah
Love's going to be
Jeremiah,
catching the ball.
Yeah.
All right, let's we're almost at the hour and a half mark. I guess we could do one more team, but let's answer this question we got from Bryce Long. Startup, Superflex, tight end premium. I started Lamar, Genty, Mahomes, Loveland, Tyson, and a startup. Do I trade my 6th and 7th round pick for Tate? Oh, so right into Cornell Tate, or just pick? Players on the board are Kyron, Lemon, BTJ, Smitty, and Tootin, DJ Moore, Casey Concepcion, and Terry McLaurin.
Oh, man.
What do you think? Joe, you could start if you want. If not, somebody else could take it.
let's see. He started Lamar, Genty, Mahomes, Loveland, Tyson.
Super.
I'm taking McLaurin.
If I was just gonna say it, I think this is, if you're gonna try to win now, then see, you got Tyson. I mean,
He's got to trade his 6th and 7th round for Tate, where he could just take one of these other guys.
I mean, I would take Smitty easily. I think that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I think so too.
Smitty's,
I'm with you, Mike.
Smitty's there.
I think if you make this trade, I don't think you're gonna contend right away. I hate to say it. I'm not saying that you won't have a decent season, but you might be going too young, and it might.
He already has young with Loveland. He's got Tyson. He's got Genty.
That's what I'm saying.
I would take Smitty.
I trade Mahomes.
I don't know why he picked Mahomes, but man,
it's a super
flex.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You're right.
I play super flex way different than most people, though, so I should.
Well, it sounds like he got Mahomes in the 3rd round. So
I would take Smitty.
I don't. According to his order here, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my bad. That's super flex. I understand.
I don't think I do the trade unless I'm okay with waiting a year or two to build a super team, because it is young enough. You got enough talent to compete. I mean, how are you gonna proceed from the 8th round on?
He might have the best 2nd-year running back and tight end in Loveland. I mean, and he's got Tyson already.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade.
I think I keep the picks. After talking myself through it a little bit. Yeah, I think I'm just going to keep the picks. Yeah.
Take Smitty.
It's interesting though. It's interesting though, because if you do take Tate and you give up the 2 picks, then you definitely have to have some sort of a plan going forward.
He needs a running back. He only has one running back. He's only got one receiver too. So.
It's a dynasty startup. You don't necessarily have to force running back when you have a good.
I think I would take Moore or Devonta Smith personally. I think that'd be my pick.
Yeah, the problem with McLaurin is he's 30 years old. So yeah, he is.
Moore's 29, so he's almost 32.
Right. Right.
Smith's a lot younger. So that might be your best bet, especially with AJ Brown out the window. Yeah,
McLaurin maybe, but I agree. I mean,
Smith might be your best bet. You could go BTJ too. I mean,
yeah,
it's another one.
He's in a good offense.
Yeah,
he's still there. So
7th, you got too many guys there.
Jacksonville, two in Jacksonville's got Chris Rodriguez. I mean, I like Tootin more than Chris Rodriguez, but I think Tootin's going to win that job. So you could go that way too, but unless there's some other running backs out there, I don't know who's out there.
Rodriguez doesn't catch passes.
I would be taking proven players still at this point. So DJ Moore, Devonta Smith.
Yeah, I think one of those 2 guys for me.
Yeah. He's got a
I
nice
would go-
team. I like the story.
At this point, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a really, really good young core. At this now, you got to start filling in some proven assets.
He says if Smitty, he said, thank you, boys. Love all the ideas. If Smitty gets taken, who would y'all go next? I'll go Moore. I think that's the second.
I would too.
I mean, you have two quarterbacks. I think I don't know if you need to take Kyron Lemon. We already talked about him. We're a little bit down.
Nice.
I mean, again, I don't know. That could change, but I think Smitty and DJ Moore are my top guys there.
You put high draft capital into the quarterback tight end position. You need proven wide receivers. Tate is something that you might need to be patient with. Let it come to fruition before he's actually a fantasy wide receiver one. I'm saying when I said wide receiver one earlier, I meant he's going to be the wide receiver one of the Titans. He's going to get 25% target share probably, but it's still Cam Ward is still developing, and it's still not a high powered offense.
Plus, you got Robinson there.
Yeah, and Wandale's there. I'd go with the proven wide receivers at this point. It fits your build better, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about one more team. You guys want to talk about the Browns, or you want to skip the Browns? I mean, they took two receivers. They took Casey Concepcion in the first round. They took Denzel Boston in the second round. The quarterback situation is, we don't know if it's going to be Deshaun Watson or Sanders. It sounds like Watson's, could get the job. But I don't know if you guys want to talk about them or anybody else has a team they want to talk about.
I think Concepcion plays the Zay Flowers role for Todd Monken.
Yeah, I think he landed well. I mean, we don't have to go in depth on it if you guys don't want to. You can squeeze in another team because when it comes down to it, my assessment is it depends on quarterback play, really, what you're gonna get. So and then you they have an elite defense. So if I see a lot of conservative type of game scripts where they, like Quinshon Judkins should be healthy, so the running game is going to be there. I don't necessarily see them firing off 40 passes a game. So, and then if, like you said, Joe, if he's playing the Zay Flowers role, we know Zay Flowers was a little inconsistent in his rookie year. It's in the Ravens. Baltimore Ravens had a similar type of offense, where they grind. They're not going over the top with the pass attempts, and they're relying on the run game.
And Fannon's got 72 balls last year. I think Fannon's he's the number one. He's the number one target there. No, I mean that's good. That's the guy that's going to be their number one receiver for sure. I mean, I think Judy's. I don't know does Judy still have guaranteed money there? That didn't work out too good for them.
Yeah, I mean,
What do you think, Josh?
they got Judy, Concepcion, Denzel Boston, Fannin.
Fannon's the guy that's proven. I mean, I think he's like a wide receiver.
Is anybody holding out hope for Deshaun Watson, or are we completely giving up on him?
Do they have to? I mean, if he's healthy, do they have to start him just because of all of the money they've dumped his way, and give him one more shot? But it's been how many years has it been since he's played? He didn't play at all last year, right? And then the year before he got hurt.
Played one game or something like that, I think.
He was coming off of a
He played
injury or suspension.
And he played 7 games.
He was terrible. He played against the Eagles. He was so bad.
Yeah, I just think Deshaun Watson's toast. I just think he's
been
done.
terrible. He's been terrible.
He's been out of it for too long, and then to try to catch back up to that game speed. But he could still be better than Shedeur. I don't know.
Jerry Judy's not going anywhere. He's under
Yeah.
he's there. It'll be next year. There's a potential out in 2027.
That franchise just is. That's just. I'm not even a Bengal fan, and you're happy to see them in the division. Jesus, they're terrible. It's like a 3-team division.
We got a New York Giants request in
I was just going to say that. Aaron Shot 2206 says he wants us to talk about the Giants. The Giants took Malachi Fields, 3rd round receiver out of Notre Dame. They also signed, they bring in Darnell Mooney, who I can't anymore with Darnell Mooney. It's over for me, Darnell Mooney. I can't anymore.
You're not going to give this 3rd team a shot?
I liked him, for a little while. And then he just, I don't know. He's always hurt, and he plays like 2 games and he drops. I don't know. It's just always a hot mess. They bring in Calvin Austin too from the Steelers. Neighbors obviously come back from the major injury. They still got Slayton, but Fields, Fields could take a jump up. I think Fields maybe Fields could be the number 2 on this team. And then the good thing for Scatterbo is they didn't draft the running back, and he's coming off a major injury too. But you still have Tyrone Tracy. But that's good. Scatterbo, for dynasty purposes especially, he's in a safe zone right now. I guess they could sign somebody.
Giants have a good offensive line. I'll get for sure.
This Josh,
better offensive lines in the league.
Could Isaiah Likely be the 2?
What's that?
I said, could Isaiah Likely be
and
the
Isaiah
2?
Likely, yeah, that's true. I didn't even mention him. Yeah, I love Isaiah Likely. Finally off the Ravens, so he could be. I love that spot,
he's off the Ravens, but he's still with Harbaugh.
Right.
But he's out. But he's away from. But
away from Andrews. He's away from Lamar's boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Wandell Robinson being gone.
There's a lot of vacated targets.
Yeah. I saw somebody on Twitter called him the target gobbler, and that really struck me funny. But I don't know. I mean, they did some things, drafted offensive linemen and stuff like that. So I don't know. Likely's interesting, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to be going after. I draft Likely every single year. I mean, I've been drafting him every single year with Andrews. So now that he's on his own, I got to continue with him. So I'm not going to give up on him now. Fields is 6'4", 218, big receiver. Again, 3rd rounder. So, could he move up and get that, be a big player for the Giants over those other receivers? I could see him moving ahead of Slayton and Mooney and Austin, but those guys kind of serve their own roles. Like Austin could have a nice little season. Maybe he kind of takes that Wandell role a little bit. So we'll see. We'll have to see.
Quickly, I don't know much about this guy. Quickly, staying in that division with the Commanders. They took that. I don't know. I know nothing about him, but that Antonio Williams in the 3rd round. Is he anything? I mean, you guys know anything about him? He got high rate. People like to pick.
He's in a good spot. I mean, he's competing with.
I don't know anything about the
He's
player.
competing with Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey for snaps. So I mean,
it's a good spot. Yeah.
I think they bounce back.
I want to go back to the Giants and highlight Tyrone Tracy. I think is a bigger winner than Cam Scatterbo. All these guys on Scatterbo but I'm taking the cheaper running back. Yeah, Scatterbo is we know that he's injury prone the way he plays. Giants improved the offensive line. Tyrone Tracy can catch passes if given the opportunity. So I think that Tyrone Tracy is a high end handcuff, and I think he brings standalone flex value some weeks. To be honest with you, and he's going. His ADP is 136. He's the RB 46.
10th round. Scatterbo fourth round.
Fourth round, Scatterbo.
Yeah.
I know you're
so far. Yeah.
Jeez.
He's gonna be one of the
But if
one
you-
of the handcuff running
I mean,
backs.
you're
I'll be
paying,
targeting.
you're paying,
But if you look at the running backs, it
you're
kind of
paying
makes
Mercedes
sense.
prices
I mean,
and you're getting a Chevrolet there.
if you look at the running backs, it kind of makes sense. I mean, like Harvey goes after him, Montgomery. I mean, Montgomery's in a good spot. Judkins, Tootin, Price, Warren.
I like
It's not
Gainwell's
terrible.
Joe's
spot.
100% right. 10th round. That's a
Yeah.
good
I like,
point.
I like where Gainwell's at too.
Yeah. 9th round.
The thing with
Yeah,
Gainwell is,
Gainwell.
though, I think
10th
Gainwell
round.
doesn't have any standalone value, in my opinion. I just don't think so. I think
I
he
think
was.
he does.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Not enough to
It was
start.
just a situation in Pittsburgh that fit that
He was
that
good,
worked
man.
out
He
one-
really proved
that-
himself last year. You know, I think, and
But
Bucky's a little bit
I
injury
think-
prone, and they
I-
kind
I-
of used two backs the whole time there. So I feel like Gainwell's going to have a role there. I just, I'm not excited about that offense as much as I used to be. But
I think Bucky gets 70%.
maybe that
They
guy's
still have whatchamacallit, the other guy.
Sean
Sean
Tucker.
Tucker. Yeah, and then you get
Yeah.
Sean Tucker, Robin goal line carries.
You think Gainwell was just
it's-
a 1 year? It could be.
It's a full committee,
Well-
and I don't know. I'm fading. I think Gainwell's value comes in contingent form. I don't think
Gainwell's going to rip off some third down touchdowns in the red zone. Sean Tucker is going to be David Montgomery light and steal the touches inside the 3 or the 4. And Bucky Irving's going to
Bucky
be the
can
guy that
stay
gets
healthy.
the
Bucky hasn't
yards,
stayed healthy.
but no tutties.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah,
That's another traffic jam there.
it
I like
is.
I like Vidal in the 13th round. That
Is
looks
that
pretty good,
that's
man.
Steve? That's the LIE, right? That one.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Sound like
The cross box is the worst though. That's the worst.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you're right.
you know,
this is
round
second-
round
this is second
18
work,
is
right?
Interesting.
It's up there. Yeah, it's bad. Sure.
Steve, what about? I mean, you kicked off the show saying you was excited about a little bit excited about the Jets draft,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
we haven't talked about them. I feel like we should give
Yeah,
you the
I was just
opportunity
gonna
to
skip.
see
I
if,
was just gonna skip over the Jets.
to
'cause
see
they're
if
not-
Frankie Reich's going to add a spark, and they went and got
See, is
Sadiq.
Frank play? Frank and
I mean-
play
I mean, in
quarterback,
all seriousness, though. I mean,
I'll tell you what's gonna happen with the Jets. It's gonna be week 7, and Bailey Zappi is gonna be starting for them. But no, we got Adonai, and they draft Cooper. I mean, they've made some good moves, and they bring in this kid Sadiq, who looks pretty good, which is interesting because they drafted Taylor last year.
yeah.
So, I think they made some good moves. The problem is their quarterback. I mean, it's freaking Geno Smith. It's a disaster. So,
But I mean,
Exactly.
do you get a little bit more of Geno that was in Seattle than what was in Las Vegas?
I don't know, dude. I think Geno is losing his shit, man. I
I'm
think
trying
Geno's
to-
losing his shit, bro.
What do you make of the Mason Taylor Sadiq situation? Is this gonna be like a Harold Fannin and Njoku type of deal?
I just saw a couple highlights of Sadiq, but from what I saw, he seemed, I got to dive into it more. I kind of like Taylor. Taylor kind of reminded me like a little bit more athletic Dalton Schultz. Yeah, he kind of had an up and down rookie year, but obviously the quarterback play was terrible. But I don't know. I think they both can contribute.
He led the team in targets. He led the Jets in targets.
I mean,
Yeah, but it wasn't
Frank Reich
He was good.
loves-
He was good for
loves
like what,
freaking tight
4
ends.
weeks, 5 weeks. I mean, their whole team sucked.
Garrett
Like
Wilson was out, but it was
Yeah.
nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, he
I-
only
I-
had 369 yards and one touchdown.
I think it sucks for Brees Hall. I think we're gonna get more of the same of Brees. They're not gonna use him as a pass catcher, and that caps his ceiling for fantasy purposes.
I don't know. I think the motto is, just avoid all Jets. I think that's just a good safe bet. Think that's going to be my strategy. Although I'll probably take a little Wilson and Adonai and a little Brees, maybe Sadiq. We'll see. And if I like this kid Omar Cooper, we'll see. But it's Geno
I
Smith.
think he can play Cooper, but the question is he going to get any type of
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
targets.
You don't know what the hell. The Jets are a shit show, so that's why I want to kind of just skip over them.
I tried.
Gosh, you just stirred a pot here late.
I was just trying to be the nice guy. Like, man, nobody's even offering it up to Steve to talk about his team.
He doesn't even have.
I mean, I like what they're doing, but they need a quarterback. They need a quarterback. They have
Yeah.
fucking Geno Smith. He's horrible. He was so bad. Like, again, they had the worst offensive line in football, so that makes a big difference. Maybe if you give Geno a little more time.
Geno started his career with the Jets, right?
Yeah, he was terrible. Just like Darnold. He started there too. That's why I say, but I'll tell you this right now: the way the Jets season goes, at maybe like week 13, week 14, Bailey Zappi will be starting for them.
How about the kid from Clemson they drafted?
Klubnik? Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Zappy hour.
That looks like the fan base.
He showed a couple of flashes in New England, Zappi.
Dude, there were some people. There were some people that wanted him to be the starting quarterback going forward, bro. I was like, what? they liked him better than Mac Jones. Well, Mac Jones went downhill after McDaniels left the first time. So
yeah,
but the second time, I should say. How about one situation we didn't touch on real quick? I have my convictions on this situation, but Steve, Josh, I haven't heard you guys yet. I think Joey and Mike might have touched on it a little bit the other night on my show, but the Jonah Coleman drafted by Denver Broncos going with RJ Harvey, that whole backfield situation, that running back situation. What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts there, Josh, Steve?
Go ahead,
I'll
Josh.
be honest. I don't have any thoughts on it. I don't know enough about that running back, but I heard some people talking about it, and it kind of made me want to shy away from the from that backfield. But it's Sean Payton, and I got my fill of RJ Harvey last year and let down in crunch time. So
I don't know what the hell I did with this camera. How do I get it back? There we go. All right, there we go. All right. Yeah, I don't know. RJ Harvey, man, the way he ran in the snow, I mean, he looked like he never – that was like – you could get like a 12-year-old who could run better in the snow than him. I mean, that was terrible. I mean, that was one of the worst performances I've ever seen. So I don't know. Dobbins is back, and then this kid Coleman comes in. I don't know if I'm going after Harvey. I think he was a little overrated coming out. I think his college tape proved nice. Maybe he learned some things in his second year, but Dobbins is going to be the guy there again. He'll probably get hurt like he does every single year.
Right.
But Coleman, again, I got to do my assessment on him too. But I would think he might be a threat to Harvey a little bit. We'll see.
Okay.
I mean, are they looking to do an Ingram Kamara situation there, some way? Maybe, but I don't know if it's gonna be there. Because, like you said, Dobbins is going to get hurt. Everybody we all like it. He can produce, but for how long?
He'll miss at least a month.
He'll miss easily.
Yeah. It happens every single year. I hate to say, the guy's overcome so much. He's overcome 3 season-ending injuries.
You'll have to see him stay healthy.
Achilles, ACLs, that's a lot. He's a warrior, but he's just something's most likely going to happen. So, I don't know. Well, maybe Coleman gets a nice opportunity. I don't know if anybody else has thoughts.
I don't know much about him really.
Yeah, we have time to. Get knowledgeable about these guys, and we'll come back later with some opinions. So it's way early in the game. None of us are really drafting competitively yet. So Steve G's in fire 40 drafts. That's insane. That's insane.
He's ahead of the curve.
He loves to go out. That guy's good.
It's
oh yeah.
He
It's
won a
funny,
platinum, I think, last year, didn't he?
What's
I
that?
was
I think he won
I-
a platinum, right?
Steve G.
Didn't he?
He may have, yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's good. He did well at. He's a good player.
We'll have to ask him next time,
Yeah.
next show. I don't think he's
He
listening.
goes after it for sure. I like that.
I think he won one, whichever league pays out 120,000.
I think that's a platinum
Yeah.
or
There you
dime,
go.
whatever he won. It's all, whatever. That's
That's
pretty
it.
good.
I think it's a diamond. I think that's what it's called,
You think he
Mike.
went the diamond or not the
Yeah,
platinum?
they were talking about it on when I was listening to the live stream, which what I was just going to mention. Steve, you were saying how none of us are drafting competitively yet, and it's kind of depressing. I was talking to Hoff about it. Greg and Jeff, they live streamed the first football guys, and this is one that I'm usually a part of. This is the first time in 3 years that I wasn't in that one. So, like you said, a little behind on being ready to fully draft.
Yeah.
But we're getting there. The wheels are in motion for sure.
Yeah, this was a good kickoff. Yeah, I think for me, I think I'm going to try to slow things down a little bit, but we'll see. I don't know. Again, once you start drafting, once you get that first one, you start roll. It's like a snowball effect. So we'll see what happens. But this was a good kickoff show.
Yeah, I think the key is just keep watching draft boards and see what happens and see like, okay, what do I feel comfortable with my style of drafting? What values do you see? Like one of the biggest things I like right now is I take Odunze over Burden all day long. I mean, I may be wrong. I mean, there's a chance.
I don't think you're wrong. I don't think you're wrong.
I like Odunze better.
What's the round difference right now, Joe?
They're both. Burden is round 4. Dunze is round 5. Loveland is round 4 as well. Same range as Burden. We discussed this the other night too. I'm kind of. If I am picking one, it's going to be a Dunze, but I'm kind of avoiding. I think I'm avoiding the pass catches there. It might be a situation where you want the quarterback and just the quarterback.
Right.
DeAndre Swift is still there. Kyle Mananjai is still there. In games where they're dominating, they do run the ball over close to 40 times between the two. So there is going to be some games where pass attempts are down. Then you got a lot of mouths to feed, spread it out close to the level and look really, really good. I think he's the one you want just based on positional edge. I think Odunze and Burden could finish more in the middle of the pack, possibly if they kind of cannibalize each other. The good news is DJ Moore's out, so they won't be that inconsistent. I'm just worried about the final total number, I guess, at the total points at the end. Is it going to be high enough to pay off 5th round? I mean, especially if you're getting them as a wide receiver 2, and not like a wide receiver 3 or a flex. So it's close for me. I'm not sure, but I'm with you, Joe. It's Odunze over Burden.
I will say this. I'll get to see what Josh thinks too. Is that team up there? Second year under Ben Johnson. Everybody want a piece of that offense, but you could see 3 different, especially these overall terms like we play in. You could see a Loveland, Caleb, Burden, or Caleb Odunze. You could see 3 different combos. In these overall, it's going to be interesting which one it really steps up. And it's odd that you can see that many different ones.
I mean, if people leaning towards, you think, I don't know how would it stays if it stays like this. I mean, because people are just attracted to Burden because it's late last year and the fact that they think he's the ASB role, right?
Right.
That's the position he's
Right.
gonna. That's where he's
Right.
gonna set up at.
Kind of fits
right?
that mold more.
I mean,
yeah.
is he can he produce? That doesn't mean he can produce. It doesn't mean Dunze can't produce on the outs.
Well,
On the outside.
Dunze was wide receiver 7 when he got
Yeah.
hurt last year.
Yeah. It's. I mean, Loveland might be the best of the 3, but
Yeah.
you're taking a tight end in round 4. And I don't know. Are you if you're comfortable in taking Loveland in round 4, which who knows by the time
Nah, because the problem is
here maybe he's round 3. But
they're really a running team. I mean, Detroit. That's the core of the base. The core of the team is running the football first. I mean, that's his offense.
Yeah.
I mean, it's plain and
Yeah.
simple. That's what Joe said. Why would you take them? Or it's going to be you're going to have erratic production probably of those 3 receivers.
Yeah. They spread a lot of mouths to feed, but no more DJ Moore. I guess
I mean, they're not in the dome yet. When they get in the dome, they had
and Bird
8 games in a dome. That'd be a little different.
Burden and Loveland were a lot better in the playoffs too, right? Over Dunze. I don't think Dunze. I mean, it's 6 catches.
But Dunze was once he got hurt, the season was.
Joey made a good point about.
It's kind of like up and down. Yeah. When did he get hurt?
Warren's going a couple rounds later than Loveland. Joe.
Yeah, Joe was talking about
Burden and Loveland are going round 4, and Odunze's going round 5.
No, talking about Warren.
Ty Warren.
Yeah, he's
like
going.
Joey like Warren. It's over Loveland. Yeah.
Round 6.
Yeah, Loveland is going before Warren.
Where's the Warren going? 6th round.
Mm-hmm.
Tight end is deep. It's pretty deep though.
And Warren's could be with no. He could have 90 receptions easy.
Yeah, there's a 20 pick gap between Loveland and Warren.
So maybe it's not the player, it's the situation and the opportunities.
That's the beautiful thing about the game we play, guys. Fantasy football is like a menu at a restaurant. Everybody likes something different, so it's.
Hey, you know what? Everybody's got their opinions, but nobody really knows who's right until the rubber meets the road, and you start to see it all play out. That's what's what's so much fun about right now is just the ideas and the builds and seeing how you can be different and where you can find value.
I'll give you one that looks interesting. This kid Caleb Douglas from Miami, 3rd round pick. With Malik Willis. I mean, he's just got to beat out Malik Washington and Jalen Tolbert. So, I mean, this kid, I don't know. Again, I haven't looked. I don't. My rookie analysis will come later, but that just seems like one where he has a nice little pathway to be a number 1 wide receiver there.
Right.
Over these 2 guys.
Oh yeah, we didn't ask you guys, John. What do you what do you think of the Waddle Sutton situation or the Denver receiver situation?
I think Waddle is definitely going to be over Sutton. I think Sutton's kind of slowing down a little bit. What, 31 now? I think it's Waddle's time. I think Waddle has been held back by Tua for the past couple of years. So Nix's arm matches with Waddle nicely. So I think that's a good combo. I think Waddle overtakes Sutton.
Waddle's round 5. Sutton
and he's got a guy that can actually utilize his speed and get him deep, throw deep instead of get him down the field instead of balls just flailing in the air. Nix can get the ball down the field. Yeah,
that's why I was saying the other day. I mean, I like him as a player, London, but if Tua's throwing to him, he can't throw the ball more than 12 yards. I mean, that's going to be interesting how he's going to produce.
At least he's a big target though for Tua.
Yeah, but,
that kind of helps. More so than Waddle and Hill, who are like smaller guys,
Can he get the ball down? It's for.
Yeah, but London can his game is more like intermediary anyway, Right. Like Waddle, you want to utilize that deep speed. Now, Nix, we saw what he did with, Troy Franklin and Mims with those bombs. So yeah, I think Waddle's interesting. That's an interesting pick. I think Waddle again for me. I feel like he's one of the most talented receivers in the league. I think he's just really been held back by Tua.
Yeah.
You know, so but he's got his own injury issues. He's always hurt. He's always banged up with something too.
Yeah, he can be annoying. He can be annoying.
The only problem I have with Sutton is his consistency. I think his spike weeks are there. I think he's going to give you games where he gets 1, possibly 2 touchdowns. It's a beast in the red zone. It's. I mean, Jalen Waddle is going around pick 50 and Sutton's pick 76. So Sutton is a discount this year. He's a little bit.
You said he's touchdown dependent.
He is touchdown dependent. I think with Waddle there, there's not going to. He's not going to be he's not going to have a 12 target, 9 catch type of game. Consistently, it's hard to say. I mean, what is good though is Bo Nix led the league in pass attempts last year. So you got Sean Payton runs a fairly high paced offense. Despite them having an elite defense, they managed to lead the league in pass attempts. So the volume is going to be there, I think, for Sutton to be relevant, but you have to be careful how you draft them. You don't want him in a 0 RB build. You want him as a flex. I think he could be like a high end flex. But I think he's going. I think he's a bit of a discount this year. I think he's going overlooked a little bit.
Get him as a flex. That would be nice in the 3 wide receiver way, right?
Yeah, you don't want him in a 0 RB build. Yeah,
I can live with that.
0 RB build.
At least until he gets hurt.
Wide receivers,
I think he killed me one game. The guy's a weirdo. He got hurt. I was saying the other night, he got hurt like in the first quarter. It didn't look bad. Stayed out, and all of a sudden he came back in the fourth quarter. I mean, waited. I mean, I forget what it was. They were playing at home, Miami. I mean, that burned.
Maybe that mountain air will help him a little bit.
Oh, I don't know what's going to help him. Hopefully, Sean Payton will help.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of interesting opportunity. I mean, you look at the Ravens; they took 2 receivers, 3rd, 4th round. So these are guys, you can look at, that could possibly, maybe contribute and be something significant. I mean, the Bills took a receiver in the 4th round out of UConn. The Panthers took a big, fast receiver out of Tennessee, Chris Brazell. That could be interesting. I think Legette's probably his time is up. I think Brazell will probably overtake him and maybe even play into McMillan a little bit. This kid Brazell is kind of interesting. The Bears take a receiver in the 3rd round, Xavier Thomas out of LSU. So, I don't know. Maybe he's not happy with Dunze. I mean, he didn't draft the Dunze. You never know. That's another guy you can look at. So, yeah, this comes down to doing your own evaluations and then applying it to the situations.
Yeah.
Let's say Zacchaeus is gone, too, so they're probably looking to add depth.
Yeah.
We got a question in the
3rd
chat.
round's pretty good, though. 3rd round's pretty high.
From a new subscriber, yeah.
Oh, appreciate it, man. Jason says, I'm in a dynasty, taking over a team, rebuilding, and tight end premium super flex. I have a question for everyone. All right. What's the question?
Hit us. And context is key in dynasty. You're talking
Let
about.
Let us know, dynasty. Jason. Appreciate the subscription.
We need all the context.
Jamie has a question. We'll answer his first. Jamie's been active. Oh, and Will Stevenson's still here too. I didn't realize it. The chat was quiet. That's popping back up again. Jamie says Caleb Douglas went undrafted in my 12-team 4-round rookie draft. All right. I don't know who the hell that is, Jamie. Again, I got to learn my ropes here.
Steps up.
Pat Bryant or Troy Franklin? I'm a Pat Bryant guy. I'm still Pat Bryant.
I
Although
don't
Franklin's been good. But.
Now with Waddle there, though, I don't think either one of them can become fantasy relevant.
Yeah, but could Pat Bryant overtake Sutton? I think that's possible.
Eventually, yeah, eventually.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen maybe towards the second half of the year. Maybe it's possible.
Yeah, I like Bryant better too. I agree.
Yeah. Jason, what's your question, man? We're interested over here. We'll take that question. Maybe we'll get the heck out of here. It's getting late. All right. Anything else you guys want to touch on? I mean, again, there's you look at all these picks. It's pretty interesting down the board, but I think we covered the most important stuff here. Anything else that we possibly missed that you guys want to talk about? How about the Rams real quick? Last one. They take Ty Simpson. That's been a big controversy. And then they take another tight end in the second round. And they have all these tight ends already. Who I think all of them did a pretty good job. But, obviously McVay plays that 12 and 13 personnel a ton. So maybe this guy, Max Clare, tight end Ohio State, steps up. And Ty Simpson, I remember watching him a couple games. I feel like it's good insurance for Stafford with his age. So I don't know. Everybody thinks Stafford's pissed off at the pick. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, McVay tried to walk it back. He walked it. In the meet. But.
What I mean, Stafford's there for this season.
Would they be better to
So I don't
take
understand
somebody
why
else
he'd be
for this
pissed off.
year? I mean, that didn't make sense.
I mean, the only reason he'd be pissed off is because he wants them to obviously go after another weapon, contribute to the championship. But what if he misses 3-4 games and Simpson steps up and wins them a couple games? So I mean that's possible too. You got to be great. I think.
Yeah, I'm not buying the narrative. I'm not buying it. I don't think Stafford's upset.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I think the front office was playing dynasty football when they made that pick. I mean, I don't blame them. I mean, Stafford's up there. I don't know if Simpson's going to make a franchise quarterback, but with Sean McVay, that's a good start, and they must have seen something. So, I mean, they have to. If Puka don't get no kind of trouble, you have to have a good quarterback in place for him going forward. Adams is getting older.
Yeah, Adams is going probably next year, and probably Stafford could be his last year.
But here's the thing: when Stafford rides off into the sunset,
does he?
McVay's going to be on the horse right beside him, riding off into the sunset. They're there together. They're going together.
McVay's a young guy for a coach.
I was just gonna say, Sean McVay isn't great.
But I mean, he acted like he wasn't going to stay in coaching very long.
Well, he might
a couple years ago
coach somewhere else.
He's gonna dip out before the Rossini room is coming true.
That's true.
North Jersey.
Where did he see that?
I could have swore I hooked up with a girl that looked just like her. I don't know if it was her or her cousin. I don't know.
Good for you, Steve.
She's the same age as me from the same area, basically. It's the same county. So.
Did she make a Spotify list for you?
What was it back then? Napster? What were we using back then?
No, it was just a mixtape. It was just a mixtape.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's like somebody just uncovered the mixtape.
MySpace, right?
Oh man,
this was before MySpace, probably. All right, I think that's about it. I'm just looking at the teams here. I think we covered everything. Steelers take a receiver in the second round out of Alabama. That could be interesting, but their quarterback situation is absolutely horrible. And then the Niners take a receiver in the second round, but that's a pretty deep receiver room. And they take a running back in the third. They're always taking a running back in the third.
Yeah,
right?
the 49ers took Stribling, right? His last name is Stribling.
Stribling, yeah.
DeJon Stribling.
Yeah.
Hey, coming out of a good wide receiver school, Ole Miss. I mean,
definitely. I mean, Evans.
Where's Ayuk going to end up at? Like, what's going to?
supposedly Washington.
Unless
Yeah, I
Vrabel
mean, you got
leaves New England
Evans,
and
Pearsall, and Kirk.
Yeah.
So I don't know about Stroud.
then AJ Brown ends up in San Francisco.
All right, one more, and then we'll really get out of here. This kid Ted Hurst, getting a lot of hype. Came from a small school. The Bucks take him in the
Guys,
third
I
round.
got to roll here. The dog's got to go out.
All right, Mike.
Oh,
No
Thank
doubt.
you, guys. I'll see you next. I'll see
See
you
Mike.
next
All
week.
right, buddy.
Good night, Mike.
Georgia State
Hey.
receiver for the Bucks, third round pick. I don't know if anybody has any thoughts on him, but he's been getting a lot of praise and a lot of hype. But again, he's behind Abuka. Well, Mike Evans is out of the way, so I mean he's behind Abuka and I guess Godwin. But this kid could have a nice little opportunity as well. Jalen McMillan's still there, but
McMillan's still there, yeah.
I don't know.
What is
I
this,
wasn't happy with the Bucks offense last year, though. I think they really miss their two offensive coordinators that left in back-to-back years. You know,
Yeah.
so
I kind of like that other rookie too that was drafted for Baltimore, Jacoby Lane. I think
yeah, we
wide
were talking
receiver
about it earlier.
too.
Yeah,
Really option in that offense.
right. I mean, Bateman, Devontae Walker. That's another good opportunity. Yeah, that's true.
And then deeper dynasty, like you brought up a while ago that their quarterback's horrible, but if you're doing a lot of dynasty drafting, Drew Allard is a good pick for quarterback for Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Those Penn State guys. I mean, I like Kayton Allen and Nick Singleton out of Tennessee. But all these Penn State guys going to have some opportunities.
I like
Nick
Nick Singleton too. Yeah, he's in a good spot. I don't think he's gonna get run right away. I think that's Pollard's backfield, but
He's a winner.
I think he could easily jump over Tajay Spears in the pecking order and maybe give us something.
They finally
down the stretch.
They finally started giving Pollard the ball down the stretch, and he started producing.
Yeah,
they were giving like 20 carries a game. Jason says.
We don't see the first part of the question though.
All right, man. Drop it in the comments unless you get it in quick. Otherwise, we're going to get out of here. But you can drop it in the comments. We'll answer the question on the back end. Appreciate everybody joining us tonight. Jamie, we had Will Stevenson in here, Steve G. We had Wimmers in here. We had Ben, and Pete dropped in for a little while as well, and everybody else. Oh, we got one more question here. Thoughts on Tank Dell here from Evan Allman, 5923. He asked that way earlier, but that's an interesting one.
Man,
I love Tank Dell. I love Tank Dell. I mean,
that was a horrible injury.
Horrible, yeah.
I was just gonna say, I'm hoping for the best because he was one of my favorite players when he came out as a rookie, man. And I don't know what the hell he was doing on that goal line formation, but he was out there, and that was the end of Tank Dell.
Torn ligaments and a dislocated kneecap. D'Amico Ryan says he's uncertain he will be available for the Texans' upcoming offseason activities, but he added that he expects the wide receiver will be back for the team at some point this year. So that's just something to pay attention to.
All right, so we got the questions. We got the questions in there.
Oh, okay.
A guy he said Travis Hunter for a third round for a 27 third and Kyle Pitts for a 27 first. I would do the 27 first for Kyle Pitts. For sure.
Hunter for third next year in 27. Third.
For Travis Hunter, a 27 third.
I wouldn't do that.
I guess they're trying to knock it down because he plays defense too. I don't know.
I'm not a dynasty guy. I'm holding on to Travis Hunter.
Yeah,
I'm not giving away for a third round pick. No, that's
I'll tell you too. Parker Washington might have separated a little bit from Hunter too. I mean,
I would do the Pitts one. I would do the Pitts for the first rounder, but I wouldn't do the third for Travis Hunter.
You got to hold Travis Hunter for now. You never know what's going to happen. injuries happen. They did say that he's still going to have a handful of design plays where he's on offense, and you just really can't trust coach speak at this. I mean, you can listen to it, but I don't know if I would hear it. I don't know if you you know what I mean.
You remember Travis Hunter last year when they moved him into the slot? He was looking like he was belonged, a receiver, and then he got hurt. It was like 2 or 3 games, and then he got hurt, and then they trade for Jacoby Myers. They bring in Parker Washington. But yeah, I mean they're going to need him on defense, and that's kind of
it's one trade. It's one trade.
Okay, so
it's all together.
Yeah, I would just hold, man. Honestly, I would just hold it. I would just hold Pitts and Hunter because Pitts could be worth the first round pick. I mean, he had a great year last year. I mean, he goes to Tua, but we saw what Tua did with Jonnu Smith. So, and Penix is still there. So, I think I would just hold
and
it.
He's still in position to be the number 2 target on the team as well.
Yeah. Jamie says I think thieving.
It's tough. It sounds like he took over an orphan, I'm guessing. Is that what he said? He took over a team. I missed the beginning part, but you likely spent the first round pick on Travis Hunter. You're going to be taking a 2-round net loss if you trade him for a third. So I think you got to hold.
Yeah, it's a dynasty taking over a team rebuilding and tight end premium superflex.
Yeah. So
yeah. So I'm holding out the Pitts for sure.
I missed the tight end premium part. I think you got to hang on to Pitts there, don't you? Because
100%.
I don't know though. I don't do dynasties, so where you get into the trades and all that is where I get lost, but.
Dynasty
tight end premium.
Dynasty is like the dungeon, the true fantasy football are a little like Dungeons and Dragons, but like Dynasty is like the true Dungeons and Dragons of fantasy football.
Yeah,
for sure. It gets real deep and
it's
thorough.
You got to keep your team either really in contention or really rebuilding. You can't try to finagle both and end up in the middle. That's really the secret to it, because if you could get stuck with a roster that stays in the middle forever. It's weird. There's a lot of layers to it, Josh.
This has got cap space. He's got auction money. Like I'm getting a migraine over here.
I'm going on to my 4th year of Dynasty, and I'm just now grasping some stuff.
We used
to
do Dynasty years ago, but it wasn't when we were like super serious. And some of these leagues are intense, which is awesome. It's just not for me.
The only reason why I do Dynasty, and like I said, just
they all help. All help.
Rookies, not. I mean, that's basically all it is for me. Just in order for redraft, see where they land, where they go, how they gonna fit in. That's basically all I do it for. I don't. This team I had last year actually made the playoffs first time. I'm about like Joe. It's my 3rd or 4th year doing it. But,
playing in all the different types of leagues helps you too.
It does.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun. It's fun to switch it up. So, all right. I think we got to everything. So that's it. We're going to sign off. We'll be back soon. I think at some point we'll have a part 2 of this, but that will be after we have a full knowledge of all these players. That might be in a couple more months, but we'll do kind of a, maybe another rookie breakdown. But, we'll probably dive into some best ball drafts soon and get our feet wet a little bit and, talk about the draft board a little bit more. And, we'll try to keep this consistent, a little bit more consistent as we get closer to the season. The NFL schedule release is coming out, 3 weeks? So 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that'll be big.
Yeah.
It'd be nice if we could all just get together and do like so many teams per show, like team previews, where we just talk about the whole core to leading up to redraft or best ball.
Do like we could do one division at a time.
Division previews, division previews. Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good to me.
Could I plug my show next week there, Steve?
100%, Joe. Go ahead.
Tuesday night, big guest at the Sports Affiliation. Go check out the Sports Affiliation YouTube channel. My show is called Aces Up Podcast, where we do a little bit of fantasy football and poker. There hasn't been that much poker, but that's going to change Tuesday. We got a big guest, plays high-stakes fantasy football, and he's a professional poker player. Duke Laveros going to be on Tuesday night, 9 p.m., Sports Affiliation YouTube channel. Great guest. We're going to learn all about his poker career. We're going to talk about his 30 years in law enforcement. He was actually the cover guy for the show Cops. I got a couple of pictures I'm going to put up there. Probably going to bring him into the Bad Boys theme. And, and it's going to be a great show. I'm really looking forward to it.
One.
He's 2023
He's a bad boy in the draft room.
2023 NFFC Silver Bullet winner on a Patrick Mahomes nail down. He won. It's $50K.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that.
I can't believe
wait
people
for
went
that
on
show.
kneel downs. That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's a must watch. Definitely tune into that. You can follow Joe at his handle, Points by Hand Carlton, below. Check out his show. It's definitely very, very solid. Every Tuesday night, he's running with that. Follow the rest of the fellas. Follow me. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing to the show. Again, we'll be back soon for another rendition with the fellas. It's been fun, guys. Thanks for everything. Thanks for joining us tonight. Take care, everybody. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the NBA playoffs if you're into that.